Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
February 22, 2021, the More Inspections for Boeing episode. And we begin with that story as the FAA has ordered inspections on Boeing 777 jets after a catastrophic engine failure over Denver. The FAA said this was immediate and required all Boeing 777 planes equipped with a particular Pratt & Whitney engine model to be inspected. Also on Sunday, United Airlines, the only American carrier affected by this order, said it was temporarily grounding the planes that used that particular Pratt & Whitney engine. The FAA announcement came shortly after its counterpart in Japan ordered airlines there to stop flying the plane, affecting 32 jets operated by All Nippon Airways and Japan Airways. Both the Japanese and American orders apply only to Boeing 777s equipped with Pratt & Whitney PW4000 engines. Next up from the Wall Street Journal, Mingy Sun reporting in the Risk and Compliance Journal, a federal judge is pushing for an investigation into the conduct of prosecutors who secured a guilty verdict in a sanctions case that was later dismissed over disclosure failures. Judge Allison Nathan of the Southern District of New York, in an order pressed for a review by the Department of Justice's Office of Professional Responsibility and Ethics and Integrity Investigative Unit, for what she described as a systematic nature of errors and apparent misconduct relating to the case against Ali Sadr Hashimi Najad. He had been charged in 2018 for allegedly using a network of front companies to funnel more than $115 million in payments related to a housing project his Iranian family business had agreed to build in Venezuela on behalf of the Iranian government. Jurors convicted him of bank fraud, money laundering, and sanctions after a March 2020 trial, but prosecutors sought to drop the case in June after reviewing allegations by the defendant that the government had failed to turn over possible exculpatory information in a timely manner. Judge Nathan indicated that the prosecutors could have faced disciplinary actions before she dismissed the case. In the order, she said that prosecutors didn't knowingly withhold the information, they didn't intentionally misrepresent facts, but she said a review of the case would help prevent future disclosure debacles. Next up, from the New York Times, Google continues to have a real imbroglio around its AI research as it has fired another AI researcher. 2 months after the departure of the well-known artificial intelligence researcher from Google, a second researcher was fired after she criticized the way the company had treated employees who were working on ways to address bias and toxicity in AI systems. Margaret Mitchell was one of the leaders of the AI team, and she sent a tweet on Friday that she was fired. Google confirmed that her employment had been terminated, but said it was after conducting a review of her conduct. They confirmed there were multiple violations of the code of conduct. The statement went on to claim that Dr. Mitchell had violated the company's security policies by lifting confidential and private employee data from Google networks. And the company said Dr. Mitchell had tried to remove the files as well. So more trouble for Google in this imbroglio. And we conclude with an article from the Washington Post, under which North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis alleges that an open-ended multi-year Pentagon contract is fraudulent and does not meet the current standards, and asks to look into it. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.